Welcome to TDD.Academy. I'm your host, Lancer Kine. The quiet fellow over there, his name's David Kuntz. He's a solopreneur. He's been showing up to the show for the last 4 weeks like this, with a frozen camera, holding a frozen drink in his hand. David, that drink has got to be freezing that hand off pretty soon. All right, David. Is that you, David? Am I getting you clear? He says, yeah, his hand's kind of cold. I don't know. David, do you put that in hot water after each show or something? I don't know how you do it. Well, folks, what's going on in the greater world is, let's see, Sci-Fi Thoughts, running a series about the Foundation, if you're into epic space opera and want to hear about Isaac Asimov's greatest work. He's an author. He's written a science fiction book that was taken up into space by an astronaut who said, you know what, this book merits going to space. Just like bring him a little closer to the author's imagination. So anyways, there's a show on Sci-Fi Thoughts about the Foundation. And you'll know now the secret behind all those places called the Foundation. What else? Agile Thoughts. They're talking about a show called, it's a group called Canton Coders. So you can go, if you're a developer and you want to do some networking and you want to be part of a group that looks out for you and puts people before companies and all that kind of stuff, go check out Canton Coders, go learn some things, go pair and mob with them, go pick up some skills, all that stuff. David, anything from you? He says he likes his pina colada, but he's not on a beach. I think he's out. You're in the mountains somewhere, aren't you, David? Maybe he's in Yellowstone. I'm not sure what he said there. Okay, so now back to the world of text editing and building it with test-driven development. Well, kids, I was talking to the product owner. Product owner says something interesting to me. He says, I want to do social security numbers that include textual characters, like, A, B's, and C's. The scenario is this. Maybe they want to add 25 more, how do I say this? 25, a higher order number. See, our numbers go from 0 to 9. So you can put, Social Security number can have 999, 99, 999. Well, if you allowed characters, you could put in 25. Oh boy, this is not about multiplication. This is about combinatorics. You can go from, instead of having 0 to 9, you could go from 0 to 25 more letters. So it's 0 to 9, which is 10, and 25 more letters. That means 35 more possibilities per spot on the Social Security number, which, if you're fresher at math than I am, is probably going to be 25 times 25 times 25 times 25. Basically 25 times the number of, it's 10 more than that. So it's 35 times the number of spots for a Social Security number. So basically we can have a whole lot more human beings in the good old US of A and have Social Security numbers and not have to make the field any longer. Yeah, I know, it's a little weird. I thought so, but it turns out the functionality we're building on this show is going to be useful somewhere else, and they need to be able to use letters. So what, you might say? What's the big deal? Well, here's the big deal. The big deal is, up until yesterday's show, or last week's show, we were getting by keeping things simple as possible. That's the art of good design, is don't make it more complicated than it has to be, because you know what? Complication costs money. So, I don't know why I'm getting my notifications. I turned you off, did I? No, I did not. Okay, so until it was spoken to me about putting letters in those fields, we didn't need to use 2 data structures. We just used the editable, okay? Remember the editable? That's the thing that allows us to It allows us to talk to the type stuff into this area. Hang on a second, we'll reboot the phone here. Let's get this running. And I'll demonstrate. Come on. Hello, phone. Why am I waiting for you so long? It's still building. Failed to start monitoring emulator. Oh, that's not good. It's gone now. All right, what happened there, kids? All right, Gradle build running. Gradle build finished. You saw that thing, you saw I had multicolored characters in there. I was doing some tests beforehand, this partial colored text. I think I've got that fully disabled now. Just running some experiments. Learning a little bit before the show, so I don't do all my learning on the show, but you know, you do see me do a lot of learning on the show. All right, come on phone, launch my app. Why isn't it launching my app? Well, to add more drama to this, I did update my Firefox. I updated my Android Studio. And maybe I'm going to learn I'm going to be a sad duck today. What's going on? Launching. Yeah, I remember last time I upgraded it. The first time I ran the simulator, it's doing a bunch of caching. Yeah, it's wow. Yeah. I hope it's all cache now, because Davey, there's the keyword, OpenGL renderer, Davey, choreographer, skipped, OpenGL, Davey. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so we were getting by having no extra data structures. We're being lean as possible, and we're just going to put in what we need. But the problem is if I allow numbers in here or letters, by the way, that was the first test I wrote last week, passed. If I type in another number though, you notice my cursor position isn't where it belongs. So if I typing it, it's all messed up. So we have a couple things to fix here. So yes, we need a data structure now because X could be valid input. X is part of the dang alphabet, folks. And the mask, it needs to have a data structure for the mask, and then that's separate from the input data structure here. Okay, so sorry that was a long walk around, but basically we need a separate data structure for the mask once we start allowing in things like X's, which are also part of the mask. You know, part of me says, well, how about we use something that's not an alphanumeric for the mask, but I don't have the ability to easily contact that product owner. And the other pitch is that, well, this will be really generic and people can put in whatever mask they want. Okay, fine. A little bit of spiraling into complexity there, kids. That happens. Not a good thing, but it's happened in the show right now. So for now, we're going to write another unit test that allows us to put in a second entry and then get the mask adjusted. As we build that functionality, we're going to start refactoring the design to have the mask in a separate data structure than the characters, because I can't just rely on having one data structure for both. Okay, so I wanted to get that off my chest. All right, let's run our unit test and write some. Cool. All right, we got some unit tests running. We got a bunch of ignored unit tests because we've got a whole bunch of tests that are angry because we've changed how we do the masking. We've added masking, and they're not used to that. They're like, what the heck? We'll clean up those as we go. So here we are. So the next test we want to write is add a second character, not just one, but two characters, and see if the mask updates correctly. What you'll see in reaction to that as I implement this is I'm going to be thinking about that second data structure now for the mask. Not necessary for the test to pass, just as a refactoring. Okay, So the test. So we'll go to the test. Should probably clean out this robo-electric stuff too. I'm a little reluctant to clean everything out because I might have to turn it on again later if I discover something that I need to go back to it. But right now, so far we're not using robo-electric, which means we could be using JUnit 5 instead of this. We could be using this one instead of this other one, which is for the what's the word here? JUnit 4. Well, actually, or yeah, JUnit 4 instead of JUnit Jupyter. So we're using the old version of JUnit for now. Probably not going to need it though. Probably switch back to Jupyter. Right, focus is Boolean logic, charge from reentry, after text changed, mask is faded. Okay, so this is a test I don't want to start right now. Before, outside the show, off camera, I was thinking about making the mask look faded so it doesn't look all black. But let's not do that right now. This is the way it works, folks. You got to go do one thing at a time. Can't keep jumping around. Okay, after text change, Boolean logic corrected to prevent reentry. All right, fine. We know that works. Where is my typed in one thing test? Let's look down here. How to use delete. So I'm using my test runner down here as an index into our tests. Where is it? After text changed, mask is faded. Correct format. That's weird. I don't have on text changed. Oh, because we're doing after text changed. Okay. Well, this is basically what I want. After text changed. All that's true. So this checks for a couple things. This checks that this is checking more than just this. This is the Boolean logic is correct, and that the mask is correct. So that's not a great. This test has a lot. 2 asserts, and it's checking the mask. So after text change, user enters single number, comma, or underbar, Boolean logic correct to prevent reentry. Oops. I don't think I need to keep saying mask over and over again. Every test I write in here, a lot of tests in here are going to say mask, so I don't think I need to say that over and over again. So this scenario is user enters single number, and this is the behavior we want. We want the Boolean logic is correct, and that the mask is correct. So let's take a little bit different tact here. I'm going to take a different tact here. We're going to change this. We're going to extract this. So I'm now refactoring. I haven't added any test yet. I want this to be clear what's going on because I was spending time thinking about this just a moment ago, and I want to make it clear so I don't have to do that next show. I want to extract to a method or a function. What does this do? Cannot extract method since the following types are not denoted in the target scope. No name provided. What are you talking about? Factor to a function. I don't know what that means. So I'm a little frustrated with this tool. I don't think it's helping me a lot. Refactor. Inline method, not that. What's function to scope supposed to mean? Functional parameter. What does this do? Wow, no, that's not what I want. Well, I'm better at using Eclipse than this tool, that's for sure. All right, so that's what I'm extracting, and it's going to be like this: assert, mask, correct. Oops, no, this is about the assert Boolean state. Oh, what did that say? Boolean state is correct. Catch my drift now? We're adding in some helper functions to document this activity. And then this is what the recorder gets. Recorder, spies recorder. Type string, and the private fun. Private fun. Let's have some private fun. And this one is a type, whatever that type was. It's an object of text watcher action state. Okay. Method recorder is unresolved reference. Why is that? It's probably because it's not actually this type. It's an extension of that type, and it's an anonymous extension of that type. Snap. So if I pass that into a function, I can't name the type. Wow, that's a bit embarrassing. How am I going to handle that? So I'm using anonymous type, and I can't use my method recorder, which is part of my anonymous type. Because I'm starting to get into abusing the anonymous type. I wonder if I can make a named class right here. How do I do that? So it is equal to a named class. That's using a class declaration. I don't know that you can create. Can you declare classes instead of functions? Stuff. Hedge from. Okay, so I can actually make it a named spy. All right, I'll have to do that now since I'm starting to refactor it into a class. Interesting. All right. All right, so class. It's going to be all this code here. Okay. All right, so I had to convert it to a named class there. There might be a way to do this on one line. I don't know how to do it right now. All right, assert Boolean state is correct. This should work now. If I change it to okay, there we go. Oh, wow. Why is it unhappy here? Oh, because it's probably, this needs to be a graduate to a class, a higher level. This can't be a functional class. It's got to be a bigger class than that. Interesting. Oh, the tangled webs we weave. All right, I'm going to declare it here. I have to do some cleaning in this baby. All right, so it should be all happy now. I've extracted that. And now I'll try to extract this, which would be sweet if I could just do function. Oh, okay. Maybe that was what it was. There was no way. It didn't tell me very well, clearly, but it was. I think maybe it was trying to say like, hey, I can't do this because of the class variable, because the private anonymous class. All right, anyways, the name is going to be, mask is correct. Okay. And it's going to take some variable parameters. Well, okay, so I can keep it hard-coded and say assert mask correct for a single parameter or second parameter, third parameter, and then I'm going to need, if I do that, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 types of assertions. Or I'm going to pass in the arguments. Let's try it by keeping them statically declared without passing a parameter for that, and try it out. Assert mask correct for single and number or single digit. Single digit entry? How about single digit entry? Okay. And then we're going to have a bunch of these privates. I think that's okay. We'll find out. Because they're going to be super simple that way. They are hard-coded now. And I should pass in text box here. Oh, I don't have to pass in text box because it's a class variable. But I'm going to pass it in because I'm going to keep the explicit the coupling. Let's see, it's called a... David, what's it called? Help me, David. Are you there, David? My spannable string builder. Put the drink down and help me out, David. All right. So we got these pair of these babies. So I'm going to end up with a lot of those. And I'm going to end up with maybe only one of those. Well, okay, the Boolean state actually probably could be hard-coded too, because I think it's always going to be true-false. We're checking to see if it toggles, because it's got to protect that area for reentry. So I'm going to take this out, say not going to need it, and go up here, say not going to need it. Just going to pass in my spy and that. Okay. So let's run this test, see if it works. And if it works, we'll do a lot more of those. This way the test will tell me. What I'm going for here is, so the code self-document, I go after text change, user enters single digit. That's the scenario. Now what does it mean to be, what's the result or the behavior of it? Well, what I was doing is I was explaining all that on this one line. But now I have like a really long line. And I was starting to explain multiple things like, oh, the mask is right and the Boolean state's right. Well, hold on. I'm going to that's going to be a lot of reading to do. Let's try to figure out how to encapsulate that better. So now what we're doing is we're just explaining what the users did. And then you look down here about the Boolean state's correct and that the mask is correct for single digit. Okay. And this is for single digit, and then we'll have double digit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or we go back and we parameterize this so that you pass the mask in each way. I can't predict which is the best strategy. It might be nice to be explicit, so you can look at this and you look at the mask, you go, yep, that's the right mask, because reading these words, insert mask, correct for single digit entry, might not be as good. I'm starting to change my mind on that one. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna change my mind on that one. Because I feel like I wanna see what the mask is here rather than look at these words. Okay. So let me change that. See if I remember how to do that. Insert mask. Correct. And then we're going to add the parameter here. Oops, not that one. Excuse me. Factor. Can I add change method signature? Except they're called functions. Change signature. I'm going to add to this signature a type of string, and that's going to be the that's the recorder output. Well, no, it's the expected output. Expected mask is of type string. Okay. And that should be the first argument. This is a little bit confusing. I'm going to hit preview. Wow, I do not like this tool very well. How about I just hit do refactor and fix it by hand? When it gets to be easier to do it by hand than to use the tool, it's not a good sign for the tool. Well, that didn't work too well. Like that. Okay. Should have the same result still. So now I can see I'm specifying what single user number should be. There's the actor range, who cares about that? They search the spec. I assert that the Boolean state's correct. If we care to know more, we have to go into here. But I don't think it'll be changing much. I think it's always gonna be true, false. That's the order. It toggles to true, does the activity, then does a false. So like yeah, there's a. And now the mask is explicit because that will be changing. Okay, so let's go with that. Tests pass. Let's build our new test. We are now 30 minutes into the show, so we're gonna write our new test. Now remember, I want to add in a second one after text change is what we're testing. User enters what? What is the user doing? What's the next logical thing? 2 digits, 2-digit number. And I'm going to change this to enters 2-digit single number. Oh, single number's okay. Single digit. There, let's keep it consistent. Okay, now. We're going to arrange the same things. We're still going to have the spy. Do I need the spy? Do I need to keep spying on it for the Boolean state? I don't know, to be honest. So I'm going to ignore it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it unless I know I have to. So I'm going to leave that out, keep my test simple as possible. And I'm just going to do what I need to do, which I definitely need to add a text box with an append of, guess what? How many digits? 2 digits. Okay. And that's my arrange. Now my act. maybe watcher. Oops, after pass my text box. And my assert. And now, for now, I'm just going to check that the mask is correct. Let's put this in here as 1, 2, x dash xx dash xxx. Okay? Probably don't need a pass text box. Maybe. All right, now, if you've been watching TDD.Academy, you should be able to answer this quite simply. What do you expect to happen when I run this test? Think about it. If you can't answer that question, you haven't been watching enough. You haven't been watching enough episodes. I'm running the test. The test fails. Why does the test fail? Because it's telling me, look, it doesn't do what you want it to do. Oh, great. That means my test is working. It's detecting that my code isn't doing what I want it to do. Well, I haven't put the code in yet, so that's how it's supposed to work. Now that I have a test in place, I can simply, I could click on it. If I want to investigate, well, why didn't it do? What did it return? After text change, it says expected blah, 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 1, 2, x. But was 1, 2, x, and then there's another x. All right, expected 1, 2, dash. I don't know why there's a box here. That's a little weird. Oh, it's saying there's no box. There's nothing here. It's 1, 2, x dash, but it says, hey, there's another box in here. That's because it's not working right. Okay. All right, let's go make the test happy. Let's go make the test happy by driving this change into the code. Okay, so notice we just hard coded in. Boom, put it in the mask like that, right? Now we're going to start being clever. Because remember that conversation with the product owner who said, hey, psst, Lance, I want you to think about big picture, big picture. When Social Security numbers have to use digits as well as numbers. Okay, fine. I could argue with him. I could tell him that sounds like a waste of development resources for something we don't need yet, but maybe he's got the inside scoop. Maybe somebody in the security office next day is going to like roll out a change. You know, for whatever reason they want to keep the column, the field length fixed, but they're going to add in 25 more possibilities per spot. Okay, so anyways, let's handle that. All right, so now we have to be a little smarter than safe append. What's safe append do, by the way? I haven't thought about that in a while. Oh, safe append's the guy that ensures that we are getting the Boolean states triggered from true to false so that we don't accidentally cause a reentry, create more edit events. Okay, now this word, we don't use text watcher interfacing, right? I don't know why that says that. So I delete it. And oh, okay, I got it. I had that there just saying, let me put that back. This is the interface for text watcher. Okay. Well, I need to be smarter now. So I need to add in, Lance, think about the simplest thing that'll work. All right, fine, let's do it. Let's do it this way. Safe append. So character. So safe append means I have to pass in the characters and the mask, and it's going to append the mask on the end. See, it's appending the mask on the end. Let's change this to be a little bit more specific. Safely append mask onto end. Okay, and this mask is now dynamic though. It can't just always be this number, it's gonna be different. All right, so one way to do it is to compute the number of characters and then add that onto the mask at the end. Oh, excuse me. Now that's going to be, I can imagine that will work. That's going to create some more code. Is there a simpler way I could do this? Let me think about it. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, okay. Let's walk us through it here. So first, I could do this. If the length of characters is greater than 1, then we know we have to have a shorter mask. Can we create a closure for this? I don't know. Let's do this. Mask will be a value, I believe. And this mask will be equal to okay, so it'll append less on. If mask is not greater than 1, it will do the other one. Okay. And then we're going to safely append mask. Variable. Okay. What do you think? I think that could work. Assignment should be lifted out of the if. Oh. Do I do this? Probably. And I probably need to do the same thing here. Create some blocks. Assignment. Where's my assignment? Characters are greater than 1. I think it's a little confused. Let me hit a save and see if we can get a compile going. Here, I'll let's see what's build. Build is make project Apple F9 finished. I'm sure I got something incorrect here. Because this squiggly means that. I don't see an assignment in here, so I don't know the problem here. Okay, there we are. Lift assignment. Okay, let's just hit it and see what it wants. What? No, I've never seen this syntax before. Mask equals if character, so it's equal to something, and if it's this condition, it's equal to that. Else, it's equal to something. Okay, well, this is a Kotlin language feature apparently. This is grouchy though too. What's going on? Join declaration with assignment. Hell, I love that idea. Interesting. Now, we'll criticize this in a moment, but let's see if the test passes. All right, test passed. Okay, and let's see if the functionality actually works. Correct? Because we have to, because we're working in the view layer. If our understanding of the view layer is incomplete, we should discover that as soon as possible. If we maybe what we're doing in the code doesn't really work in the view layer, we want to know that too. And if it launches fast, which it does now, thank you. Come on, Davy. Where's my Davy? Launch succeeded, but I don't have the Davy message. That's interesting. I don't know why the choreographer keeps complaining about too much work on that thread. I don't know if that's a real problem or not. Okay. 1. My cursor position's still not working right. Okay. All right. I gotta fix the cursor position too. I can't just append the mouse to the end. I have to reset the cursor position. Well, we gotta figure out how to do that too. And we gotta figure out how to test drive that. Well, I'm gonna say this. My hypothesis is this code will work now correctly if the cursor position part was working. So in order to know for sure, we're going to have to figure out the cursor position situation. Now, how do we test drive cursor position? That's a tough one. We're going to have to ask somebody its opinion. Hey, object, what's your cursor position? So we got to figure out how to get this object to tell us that. And I've never done that before. Shocker. We're going to have to figure out, we're going to have to learn something today. And we have a little bit of time left. Let's see if we can figure it out. So I'm going to poke around at this class, being careful not to actually add code, but just to learn something. So we have at our fingertips a SSN number. And let's see if we can do something about that. So characters is the editable. So the question is, can I tell the editable what the cursor position should be? There's these sets for spannable in Android. Okay, maybe. There's an insert. We can move the insertion point to a position in the editable. Oh, I like that. Get span and yeah, working with spans is going to be a big deal, I think, in this. Iterator. Just so many choices. You know what I'm going to do? I've got this friend. His name's Google. I'm going to ask him a question because there's a lot of experimentation here that I have to do to discover this. So let me see if my friend Google will help me. So we go over here and we look at closing things and go to Google and say, hey Google, how do I set cursor position in Android? Oh, I'm in editable. Android. Okay. Set edit cursor position. And then my other friend, Stack Overflow, who you've seen me use in the show before, frequently talks to my friend Google. There are 2 edit text while loading. Wow. Got some lawn work going next door, kids. All right, there's set selection. Or position isn't int, you just do set selection. First of all, I'm going to upvote this because this is vaguely what my problem is. I want to upvote this as a thing of interest. So he sets the message, length, and he's using editable, get text, and then selection dot set selection. Now this is getting scary because this feels like we're getting into view work again. Ah, boy. All right, now down here, edit text. He looks it up. So this is view work, baby. This is not good. We're gonna have to set up some. Remember that interface I keep adding and then removing and adding and removing? Oh, I might be adding it again. All right, next time I think about cleaning it up, leave it there forever until this is all done, because this is crazy. If you want to set the cursor position on a text edit, you use your edit, set selection, boom. And that position, I think, is an integer. So you can place the cursor before or after a character, yeah. Zero, one. Oh, this is nice. This is a good answer too, because it's got a picture. Well, I think we got the picture, folks. We got to just talk to the edit. Okay, let's figure this out. So set selection is the key. That's the key takeaway. And I don't think that's on this. That's on the text edit. So if I jump back to the class that's a view layer, and it's called SSN field, I suspect this is this fella. Here, let me just add something here. This dot set selection. Okay. So what I like to do is a quick experiment and then TDD it, because this is going to cause, I'm probably going to have to do some design change because I got to decouple myself from this view layer. And then I'm probably going to have to use an interface. Like I keep putting it there, taking it away, putting it there, taking it away. Oh, boy. Okay. So let me do a simple test though first. Is how am I going to do this set? Okay, this is going to call set mask. Maybe this will work. Need a variable in order to give the IDE a hint as to which set hint to use. There are more than one. All right, set mask. Hint property reference. Yeah, this is not where I want to be. So I want to be able to set the cursor position from the text watcher. And that means the text watcher has to send a message here. I'll draw you a picture. Oops, come here. Try this out. Come on. There we are. All right, so we want to have a, so we have a text watcher. Oh, we have the SSN field. Okay, but that's a view. It's a type of view. We can't instantiate in unit tests. And over here we have another thing called a, oops. This is our SSN text watcher, which is not a view, and we can unit test that, right? So now this watcher needs the ability to tell that view to, it needs to be able to send a message back to here, and that message has to be about change, set cursor position. Okay. It needs to send that message back, but it's got to be decoupled so I can instantiate, because I can continue instantiating this in my unit tests. And that brings me back to that interface. I keep putting it in there and I take it away, and I put it in there and take it away. And we used it for a while. What's going on is sometimes we use the interface and then we discover a better way to do it, so we don't need the interface. And today, yet again, we're going back to the interface. Well, that's what I'm looking at here, is going back to the interface because I don't know a better way right now to send a message to that view. Okay, so that's probably what I'm going to need to do. I'm going to need to put that interface back in there, and on that interface is going to be a set position. And now SSN Text Watcher will have a interface to talk to for this, and that interface will be it'll be neutral territory, so I can instantiate it in a unit test. It won't actually be an SSN field. It'll be the interface to an SSN field. Okay. I'm double checking and triple checking now to think if I can think of any other way to do this, so I don't, like the next show, oh, I don't need the interface now, I'll take it away again. It's like a bad, David, it's like a bad egg, David. Why do I have to keep adding this interface? What else? Well, I know set cursor position is in SSN field, and since that's where the API is, I have to call it. And if I'm going to call it, I have to call it from SSN Text Watcher, because that's the thing that's doing all this work. And I still want to be decoupled from it, so I need an interface. I just can't think of any other way. Okay, and you'll have visual evidence next time. I go, oh, I found another way. You'll go like, damn it, Lance, why do you always go for the interface? And then the next show you get rid of it. I don't know, man. But interfaces really create a lot of nice flexibility, and that's probably easy to implement. They are easy to implement, and so that's probably why this is happening. All right, so now to the interface. And then, okay. The other thing is I need to be able to get do I need to get the cursor position too? Excuse me, not necessarily. But while I'm at it, let me think about this. Is there also a way to get the cursor position? So this was set. Where's that set? We did it in here in the field, and we did set current. Where's the cursor? Oh, dang it, can't remember it now. Set selection. So there's also a get selection. Well, there's a selection end and start. Folks, I really wish this IDE would tell me what that thing does when I put my pointer on it, like it did in Eclipse, but it doesn't. So I'm telling you, folks, people who say, oh, there, see, finally, it came up. People who say things like, oh, IntelliJ is so much better than Eclipse. I have to tell you, I don't think I'm really seeing it. It might be better, but that has some hangups that Eclipse didn't have. So it's one of those things where things that you're used to working aren't working, but there's maybe some things that you're not even paying attention to that are working. And so maybe overall it is, but I'm not seeing a clear win here. But for Android, you got to use, it makes sense to use IntelliJ. For Java, I'm not so sure. You heard it here, folks. All right, so all the Eclipse haters, stop it, man. I can see just as much quirks with this IDE too. So at least it's helping me now, so I can't complain now. Get selection and is going to return an integer. All right, so that's if it's highlighting if it's highlighting a region, it's going to give me the end and the start. Okay, I can buy that. And if it's not highlighting, I guess the end and the start will be the same spot. So I think that'll work. So I know how to get it. Oh, it's actually, there's a get too. Get selection in. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. I think that was the Java version. Get selection start. This is weird. How is that supposed to work? Quick documentation. What does that do? It does nothing. How is that helpful? This is really not a cool way. So the other trick is just to go look at the decompiled. So get selection in. All right, so it's going to return the selection in. Doesn't take any parameters. All right, fine. I think I know enough. I don't think I need to fight this anymore. Close. Oh, that's weird. That doesn't close like it should. Okay. All right, let's see if I can get that baby working. And then it's Friday. Let's see if I can get to my Friday. All right, I have a barbecue too in about an hour, so I need to wrap this baby up. Texas barbecue with the neighbors, neighborhood block party. Maybe we'll be running bikes off the roofs and into swimming pools. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so I lost my train of thought. SSN field, clean that up. All right, we're gonna do the interface, kids. We're doing it again. No, don't do it, Lance. Well, I'm gonna do it. Okay, there's the SSN text watcher. SSN text watcher is gonna need to take something. All right, what's it gonna take? It's gonna take an interface. What's that interface? Well, I have to go make it again. So the interface is going into, it's for things that, let's see if I remember how this works. So it's gonna go from, the policy is going to be set by SSN text watcher, and it's about accessing the SSN field. So its namespace should be in here with the SSN text watcher, which is my widgets. All right, so we're going to add a new class, new Java class. No, it's a Kotlin class, but we're weird. We're going to have Java show up in our Kotlin projects. All right, main, Java, boom, okay. I think that's right. And the class is going to be an interface. And the interface name is going to be, now, how do I'm trying to be really diligent about my naming. The naming would be, this is an interface that will be used by Social Security number text watcher to access view layers. So this will be an interface to a view. So I'm going to call it view interface. Or do we call it, oh, let's stick it with, be very particular first. SSN field interface. Okay. So in the user of this interface is text watcher, and it's going to refer to it as SSN field interface, which is how, well, SSN field. I don't know if I don't like putting interface in the end of my interfaces because it's just redundant. So it's like, I have an interface called blah, blah, blah interface. But how about SSN field access? And that's to access my SSN field. And then later you can think of it as a view access. I think that'll work, all right? Not in love with that naming convention, but yes, add it to Git, thank you so much. Okay, now, we want to be able to set it for sure. Set, what's it called again? Selection. That's going to take an integer. How is that supposed to be a function? What type? It's going to be a location. Position. That's a good word. What do I just do? Do I just type position? No? I type in type. What do you want in this interface? Frustration. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Set selection should be position colon int something like that, but it's not that. Oh boy, I forgot how to declare an interface. What's going on here? Kotlin. Interfaces with examples, blah, blah, blah. Interface, fun, da, da, da. Interface, my interface. Well, I probably didn't. Yeah, I have that there. And then I just put in the function, yeah, but I have a function with parameters, bro. So where does that go? I have functions, interfaces with I can override properties apparently. Yeah, that's interesting. And I just have a case of a function. Yes, that was helpful. But it's missing, like, interfaces can have parameters, right? Here we are. No. Inheritance. I'm not looking for inheritance. I'm looking for interfaces. Holy cow, I must have just missed it somehow. Inheritance. Somehow, Kotlin interfaces. Wow. Again, no interfaces with arguments. You guys are killing me. I feel like they've just copied the other interface documentation because it doesn't have anything else added to it. Hello? All right. Interface. It just puts, why is the type all of a sudden ahead of the, oh, this is Java, that's why. Kotlin, 2.2. That's not helpful. Bizarre. Come on, somebody must have an interface here with a parameter. Here it is, interface, blah, 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 a int. Wow, that's what I'm doing, man. Why is it not? Function. Oh, internet. Yeah, it's just like that. That's pretty simple. Whoops. Okay, well, why is it not like in my integer? Capital I integer. Is that what the problem was the whole time? Oh my God. Capital I integer. Oh! Jeez, oh Pete. I'm sure some of you saw that a long time ago. Anyways, there we are. Set position, interface. Now, what's going on here? I am writing code, but I haven't written a test to drive this code. I have an interface. I haven't used it yet. I haven't quite broken the law, but I'm headed that direction. So do I have a failing unit test? I believe I do. Oh yeah, and I do need to be able to get out the location so I can write, so I can test drive. Oh no, I can do this with a spy, so I don't need to. Okay, spy. Is that the smart way to do this? Should I use a spy? If I use a spy, if I don't use a spy, I'm going to be asking my watcher, where is the bloody position of the cursor? And it will tell me. If I have a spy, it will tell me as well, but I'll have to do the work of creating the spy. So I think I need to add a service to my watcher to also give me the position as sort of a courtesy so I can make this testable, because it's important to be testable. Otherwise, you get bugs, right? All right, so that means I need to add in right away, right now. Hang on a second. Let's write a test. Let's write the test. Slow down, Lance. Let's turn on the Twitters in case people are tweeting me. All right. Yeah, if you want, hey folks, if you want to tweet me live, if you're on here live, tweet me at Agile Thoughts 1. Agile Thoughts 1. Agile Thoughts 1. Okay, now let's write a test that checks the cursor position. So if we go back to this one, after text change, user enters 2 digits. We add a new spec and we say, hey, we are asserting the mask is correct. Oops, let's back up here. We can even do it after a single digit. If we're asserting the mask is correct, we should probably also assert that the cursor position is correct too. And so we would do that by going to something like this. We'd go like assert equals, we'll build it the primitive way first. And we assert that the cursor position, after we type in a 1, what should the cursor position be? Well, it should be not cursor position 0, it should be cursor position 1. So we're going to assert that, and we're going to say, well, we ought to be able to get that information from our text watcher. It's watching everything, man. It's watching cursor position too. And so tell me about the cursor position. And we'll make it, I guess, a property. And kind of echo what we've done, what we've learned from the Stack Overflow article. Set selection is just get selection. Oh, bloody hell, I forgot what it's called. It's not called cursor position. It's called, so selection is a property where it can get or set, I think is what it's going to be. Okay, so we'd want that test to pass. And of course, to get it to compile, we'll have to add it. Get in there. It's not really that good. Finally. Create member property. Wow, a companion object? Why is it a companion object? I don't know. Doesn't seem right to me. All right, let's back it up. Maybe I've got something crazy going on here. File selection : object. So why is that in my companion object? That's like an inner class. Why isn't it here? Like that. Might be a reason for that. I think the IDE would know how to do it. Must be initialized or abstract. All right. We can initialize it to be, wow, an abstract property. What's an abstract property? Add getter, add initializer. No, that can't be abstract. Okay, so we initialize it. It's going to be equal to 0, because that's where we start. And then I want to add a setter and getter though. Wow, I'm just getting myself into some Kotlin syntax trouble now. All right, let me back it up. I've got to look at this again. All right, now add getter is not a bad idea. So now this will get it from you know who. And we'll have a setter. So the syntax is value selection : type, and then get an. I don't need a setter on the outside. I just need a getter on the outside so I can check up on it for my unit test. This is so my unit test has visibility. I think that'll work. All right. Is my test ready to go yet? I don't know. It's complaining here. Still unresolved, buddy? Oh, because it's it's all capitalized. That's why it stuck it in there as an object. No, that explains that. All right, that's okay. We don't want it there. We want it. It's got to be a instance object, not a static object. Okay, cool. Now, guess what's happening when I run this test? Can you call it here, folks? Can you call the shot if we're out there playing pool? Call the shot, ball in the corner pocket. This test will fail. When this test fails, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to go add that interface that we just created into the design, and it's going to implement the connection between after text change and the SSN field object so that it can get the cursor position. In order to be, you may remember in the past, whenever we add an interface, we have to come back into this code, in this test code, and implement a mock object to take place of the SSN field, because we know SSN field is a view object. We don't want to have it in our unit test. So we're going to have to come back to this code again and update it a bit. But hey, let's make the test fail. Let's add what we need to into the design. Then we'll come back into this test and we'll add in the mock object so that we can avoid being coupled to that view object. Okay? That's the name of the game of all these episodes, is don't play with the view object in your unit test. I'm sorry about that, but you can go complain to Android and Google for architecting it so that they made their view objects ununit testable. That was not a necessary move on their part, but that's what happened. Whew. They are making life hard. Or not terrible. I mean, it's not terrible. We can work around it. But why should I have to work around all this stuff? If they would just design it so it could be unit testable, that would solve a lot of problems. I didn't have this problem in Java, but I've got it here, folks. Let's see here. All right, let's run that test. I did my tirade. The problem with tirades is I probably forgot a little bit where I was at. So I'm waiting for, oh yeah, I'm calling my shot. I'm going to watch this unit test fail. Okay, unit test failed because it's not properly getting a operation. It's not implemented. It's going, man, come on, get selection. I got a failure, bud. All right, anyways, let's get that failure straightened out. Okay. All right, SSN text watcher. This now, when it is instantiated, it will require to have a field, something that implements that interface passed in. So SSN field access, let's see, it's going to be var, colon, yeah, same thing. We're going to call this okay. And now if we go back to this, we'll call that selection. All right, that's right. I got to add another one in here. Which might just want this to be a property selection. I have to look this up a little bit because I'm not sure how to do that. All right, so there's a way to use interfaces and fields. We read some of that. Okay, we gotta keep this one around. And okay, we gotta look at the property interface. Inheritance in interfaces, multiples. I did like that, by the way. I can't do that. Oh, geeks for geeks, stop screwing around here. Okay, let's back up. So there's something about interfaces with property. All right, so you say the name, data type, and then you can put get. Oh, okay. That's be get and set though. Get private set. All right, that's interesting. But this didn't work, right? So he says interface, transfer date. Therefore, you can override any declared val property with a var property. What? Interface, blah. A property is an accessor to data. You will have a getter and setter if the property is mutable. If you'll have a getter if the property is mutable, a setter as well. Not well said. Therefore, you can override any declared val property with a var property. This is a val. Override late init var. Sounds like he's going to return a read-only version. Note that you don't need to make the property related init var. So with an object. Okay. Anyways, that looks pretty reasonable. Colon. Now what's the type? Oh my god. What type is selection? Oh dear. Yeah, the type might get me in trouble. Might have to do getter setters. Because I don't want to actually be coupled to the type. I want to pass in an integer to set it, and I want to get back an integer to get it. I don't want to pass whatever type it's probably going to ask me to do. So how do we find out what type? We go back to SSN field. Let's check it out. What type are you, SSN field? SSN field access. SSN field. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll fix you in a second. Is it called selection? So I have a selection and a selection star and a has and an on and all kinds of stuff. All right, now I'm confused again. So get start and a set. All right. I think I'm going to have a set selection in my interface and a get selection. Let's see, usually what I want to care about is the end of the selection, I'm going to say. I might need both of them, but let's start with selection end, see if that works good enough. We don't expect a lot of highlight to be happening, but when we worry about that scenario, we'll come back and update. Okay, so in the interface, we are naming you. Interface, where are you? Oh, XS. Set selection. Okay. Don't do that. Have that problem again. Okay. And then we're going to have a function get selection start and that's going to return an integer. Capital I. Why am I'm having syntax difficulties, folks. I can't remember all these languages. How do I describe the return type? Ah! It's not over here, is it? That's like Java. Right. I wouldn't dare do that. I've got to have code that returns something somewhere in here. I have a bunch of interfaces. I have some... Do I not have any code that returns anything? Like my spy. Come here, spy. Spy. Function, override. Oh, and I use a property. How about that Boolean state in text watcher? Function set. Oh, colon. Bloody hell. They love the colons in this language. Okay, now we have a set and we have a get. What's all this? Wow, I did not want that. What is all of that? No, thank you, that. Whatever that was all about. Let's close this. Okay, so back to SSN Text Watcher. It's going to have a get selection and a set selection. All right, so we're going to have set. Actually, let's see if we can get the IDE to fill this in for me. Huh. I don't know what it's complaining about. All right, anyways, I need to have a and I'm going to go okay. Wow, pretty hard code, huh? Not really. Pain in the butt, actually. They'll have to do it at all. Get selection. Get selections n. That's going to return an integer. Okay. That should be the make the oh it's these are overrides too. So override there. Okay, and then it doesn't seem to understand that I'm implementing an interface. I'm not implementing an interface. That's true. The field is implementing an interface. Here I'm just passing it along to my caller, my test code, so it can get access to that valuable information. And now we go here, and you have to implement this interface somewhere. There it is. Remember, it used to be called SSN Field Interface. Now it's called SSN Field Accessor, or Access. So I need it's an interface for getting access. Okay, cool. And that's right. Now, watcher, it's going to new this up. It's going to pass in myself at runtime. Okay. And because I'm passing in myself, that means I have to implement it. So there it is. SSN Field Access. Now, we've got to add some getters and setters for that. Lazy property, I don't know what that's about. Get end. That's a return statement. And we're going to put a colon and function. Okay. Oh, glue code. I hope it knows what it's overwriting. This is a little weird that I'm go to super method. I do not want to go. Oh, let's go. It's a little fishy because this name is similar to it doesn't literally have a get selection in. I'm going to go with it, see what I learn. And the other override, the rest of the interface. Position, couple of integer, selection. Okay, so we're just passing these messages around between this little interface so we can be decoupled from this view object. All right, now I think everything's in place design-wise. Today was a big design day. Okay, so now I think it'll compile, and I'll find that out by running these tests. The test, let me call the shot and pool. Okay, the test should still fail. Well, actually, my test can't act, there it is, it's red. It can't actually pass until I throw a mock object in there now. See, like, adding mask mock. Okay, let's see how we're making this. There's my spannable string builder. That baby's big, kind of, oh, it's not too big. Probably ought to move that in a separate class. All right, now we have a watcher, which is what I'm going to be testing right here. Now, here I have to pass in something. I wonder what that does. I have no idea. Okay, so we have to figure out what we're going to do. And thankfully, it's already refactored, so my watcher's only done in the before. It's not done in like 10 places like it used to be. Apparently, I learned something. And now we need to pass in a mock object to handle selection, those interfaces. Okay? And we did this in the past. Last time I had an interface. Excuse me. David, you should pass your drink over here, man. I need a pick-me-up. Okay, so now text watcher's got to take an interface, and that interface is called the SSN field accessor. Now it's going to need a class, and that class is going to be like, what's that class going to do? That class is going to keep track of the sets and the gets. Am I going to need to use that in each situation? Probably. All right, so for now, let's see if I can do this. If I can do a field access. Nah. All right, that's just going to stretch my brain there. So let's go up here and do a class. Okay. All right, now, this is going to be in here. Okay, now this code should compile. Why? Oh. Whatever. It sucks. Somebody's got a water leak. That's scary. What's going on here, kids? SSN. Okay, so it needs an app adding mask mock for the action state. Okay, yeah, because in the cases where it's newing up its own thing, it's going to have to add in that mock as well. SSN field mock. Okay. Probably need a few of these. Notice how when I was using the interface, I had that mock SSN field. I got a new mock. Flipped my naming convention around a little bit. What is my naming convention? Do I start with mock or I end with mock? Depends. I should be consistent whatever I do. Leading with mock is kind of annoying because alphabetization doesn't work as well. But okay, so am I compiling now? I think so. All right, let's run the tests. Looks like that's a red light bulb for some reason. Something's not compiling. What's going on here? I don't have this anymore. It's called what? Get. Selection end. Okay. Get some more of these to paste in there. These red things are not easy to see, guys. Tiny little red lines. All right, so this red line here is gone, so I should be good now. Let's go, baby. All right, so I expected the test still failed. This is the first time we've gotten to run it. And now, operation is not implemented, okay? Because I did not implement, I put the mock in there, but I haven't implemented it. Because we have to, how do I say that? Different tests have different needs. So after text change, user enters single digit. So that's the scenario I need to simulate now. All right, so now this version of the SSN field mock needs to do a little bit more than just generic mocking. Because you have to remember the user entered a 1. So because the user entered a 1, we have to tell the mock object when it calls get selection end, you need to respond with 1 because that is the where it would be when you enter in this text box. Yeah, okay. No, it's actually a little more complicated than that. It should actually return what's in text box because text box is representing everything here. Okay, yeah. So, can I do that? I pass in SSN field mock. it's got to return what's in text box. So it sounds to me like my mock object needs to be coupled to this text box, at least for the test, so that I can actively simulate this as if I'm in the view object. All right, let's try that. Let's go back up here. My Kotlin memory is not good on this. So I'm going to pass in a object type when it's constructed, and it's going to be a text box. Okay. And is it not a, oh, my spannable string builder maybe? How about that? Now, this will have, yeah, it's getting smelly, a position equal to 0, this equal to 0. Okay, infer that. Value, is it value? No, it's going to be a variable because it's going to change. Now, if I set it, okay, and if I get it, there's two ways this is going to happen. When this is, I think I'm going to do something weird here. Right, here's the logic. If nobody ever calls set, it's going to return the length of the text box, because it's assuming that the length hasn't been changed. But once set selection is called, it will set it to the length of the whatever. Our functionality of the mask adds on stuff to the end. If we don't tell the mask to set the position, then it just uses the string. But if we tell the mask to set the position, we return that. Okay, so it's going to be like this. It's going to be get selection. Okay, it's going to return the position. So if selection positions equal to -1, then that means we haven't set it, and return its length. Text box is spannable string builder. Doesn't have a length. Wow, what's going on here? Text box, toString. Append. Why am I not getting this? What is not working here? Oh, my spannable. Why is it a my? Oh, because it is a my. There is a length API, kids. So why am I getting, is it dot length? Why is length not coming up, man? It's right there. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a my, it could just be a spannable string builder. Puzzling. Let's go down here. Textbox.toString. Yeah, something's not right. Text box. What are you, text box? You're a my spannable string builder. And this class takes this spannable string builder and here I'm referring to it, but I'm not getting its, something's not right. I'm not getting the right type. Oh, what's going on? Spannable string builder? It could be a my spannable string builder. It doesn't matter. I'm still like getting help. Ugh. How am I supposed to return the length? So if the position is equal to -1 in return, okay, and then if else, it returns selection position. Now, why is that not working? It's because I didn't have this around it, maybe? Turn. Does that work? Oh, unresolved reference. Why is that an unresolved reference? Did I not pass it in the right way? Maybe, maybe not. Looking for my syntax. So, oh, I have to have a var maybe in front of it to say make it a property. That's probably the problem. Otherwise, I think the syntax looks good. Okay, let's go back there and check that out. Where's my spy? I mean my mock. There it is. So I think I need to put, so if I don't put a var in front of it, I don't know what that does. Text box private. It's fine. All right, is it happy now? Interesting. So if I don't put a var in front of it, it probably is a, I don't know what that means. It means I could pass it to a super maybe, but I don't keep a local reference. And if I don't put a private in front of it, it becomes a class property. Wow, I better start writing down what I learned because I'm not going to remember all of this. All right, episode 40. Am I really up to episode 43? Wow. Yeah, I am. Okay. That's all of the TDD.Academy episodes ever. Just 43. I want to remember this one. So, like, for example, instantiating What am I talking about here? Constructor arguments. When you do a class foo, if you go something, something, something isn't a class field, do var something is a class property. Private field. All right, that's good to know. And the first thing we learned was about interface declaration. I think it was just I just screwed up on the integer declaration, and that's why I didn't get that working earlier, and I wasted some time there because I didn't spot it. That's what we call a dumb mistake. Oops, that happens. Until we do it, until we use this code and we rewrite the same thing, I don't know, 100 times, then you don't make those mistakes anymore. That's a lot of episodes. We're only at episode 43, and only 14 of them are Kotlin. So it's 14 episodes of Kotlin. That's all the Kotlin I've done. All right. So what did I learn really with interfaces? I think I learned a little bit about when you create an interface for properties. So that means you do this, interface, and then you do like function, age, and it's int, and I don't know. So I don't remember the syntax still. Gotta go look at it. The good news is the code will be here until I figure out how to do it without interfaces, and I delete the interface again, which seems to be my thing. This is in field access. Yeah, I actually ended up not doing that. I'm conflicted about that. Yeah, I did it. You just write it down. Val or var colon blah. All right, right. That's pretty easy. We'll just refer to this article, and let's get back to my test. Age int. That's it. age is now a, oh, I need a var or val. Okay. Alrighty then. So that's it. Let's get this code working. I think I'm done recording, unloading my brain with what I learned before I forget it all. Felt like last episode I forgot some things that I learned and I couldn't remember them all by the end of the show. So don't need this. Am I compiling it? No, I'm not compiling it. What's going on here? Got my mock object working yet? Yep. Part of our text box, colon, my spannable builder. Yeah, well, okay, let me add a little more information here. So if I don't, so, in which case, I can't refer to something class as there's no reference. And I think that's for constructor chaining. This is the only reason why this would be here. So that maybe the foo has a, you could pass it as a super to its super constructor, but you never get local reference to it. No reference. Okay. Enough said. All right, what's going on now? I have a bunch of red squigglies. Oh, but now I have to pass in text box. Oh. Unless I make that empty. Yeah, I don't like it when mock objects are getting complicated. This is not good. SSN field access does not have constructors. Mock. Oh, okay. Field access. Let's take a text box here. All right, let's see if we can get this baby done. I'm hitting barbecue time, kids. I might have to call this one a game here very, very quickly because I'm supposed to have neighbors out front any minute now. So I'm sorry. Barbecue overrides live stream. So let's see if I can get this wrapped up. So as in field mock, it's going to take a text box again. And Okay, I think it'll compile now. Come on, baby. All right, test failed. I think that's to be expected because I haven't expected 1 but was 10. Finally. All right, finally, we got a failing test case. So this is the way exactly the Android app works. I put the mask in, xxx dash xx dash xxx. How many fingers do I have up? 10. And if you're at the 0-based array size, it's really only 9. But remember, we entered in 1 digit. So that's 10. So it worked perfectly. Now I can put the code in, which sets it to not to 10. All right? So let's go over to this fella. And here, when we set the mask, we also need to reset the position. Now, we haven't tested out if this code works in real life, so I might still have a situation here. But really, we want to go field access dot set selection, and we want to set the selection when it's greater than 1. That means there's 2 digits added. When there's 2 digits added, it should be at 0, 1. So that if you put 1 digit in, you should have it set to, oh yeah, I can't. I gotta redo my if statement. It's all messed up. If we're gonna do, damn it. Yeah, it was a nice try, Kotlin. It's nice, fun syntax I just learned, but I didn't get to use it. That was another thing I learned, was this new Kotlin syntax, but it's not going to work for what I want to do. It's going to set the selection, and it's going to be, when we put a 1 digit in, it should be set to 1. When we put 2 digits in, it should be set to 2. Okay? Now, mask. We got to rejigger everything here. If okay, I think this will make the unit test pass. Let's find out. Boom, unit test pass. Now, here it is, folks, moment of truth. Because no matter what happens, I'm going to go to my barbecue. I'm going to hit run in the app and see if it works. Excuse me. Working damn hard for you guys on Friday. Damn hard. Ooh, I don't like this. What am I seeing? I'm seeing infinite loop time. Sounds like we're having a re-entrant problem. Stack Overflow error. Oh my God, it's an advertisement for Stack Overflow. How dare you, Google, sneak that in? Oh dear. Anyways, we've got the logic right. I'm just gonna double check. Am I doing my after text changed? All right, what might be happening, see this safely? It's possible that I'm re-entering even when I change my selection. I don't know if that's the case, but I won't be shocked. This is a very touchy thing. If I move the selector, is it causing the edit events to change? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it should. Well, it's easy to try out, right? I just take this code back out. Okay. And I run it again. Oh no. And what's going to happen? boom. Still got an infinite loop somewhere. No? Launch succeeded. Maybe that was probably leftover stuff. Oh yeah. I'm not seeing the Davy. And it's not really launched the app. Yeah, it's all very suspicious. It's interesting. I got my app running in split screen mode. Yeah, there's something bad happening. Something bad happening there, kids. All right, what have I changed? Unfortunately, I've changed a bit. I don't know what. Do I really want to do this, or do I want to go my barbecue? All right, I'm going to give it 3 more minutes. And field. Let me disable some code here. So the field has these fellas. So if I disable these 2 lines, I like to really disable it. No, I have to disable it this way. And that's going to still need a return, shouldn't it? It won't compile if I do that. What's going on here? Why is it saying that to me just because I did that? Oh, because I'm missing my... Yeah, all right. Oh, let's see if I can. This is taking up a lot of my 3 minutes, huh? And then this has to really return something, so we'll just return 0. We're doing some hacking now, kids. All right, now let's see if it won't crash. Launching app on Pixel 3a, API 30, x86. All right, now that's promising. This looks more normal. Okay, boom. Now, so the question is, what broke it? It's either this, it's got to be this code, right? Because that's the last things I changed. So I learned a few times that if you try to set things before the application's ready, it will crash. So I'm going to assume the getter is okay and that it's the setter. Okay, let's try it again. So if I run it again, see if it works. Okay. Oh, that doesn't look good. Something's calling get selection a whole bunch of times. Yeah. All right. I think my strategy of reusing get selection end and then turn around calling it get selection end is biting me in the rear. This is probably why a while back I had this weird, like, put a stupid number on the end of it so I can disambiguate. And if I do that here, if I do it smartly, hopefully that will change all of its colors in my test. I don't know what import alias is, and I'm not going to learn that right now. S is in field. Yeah, that should work. And did I change the wrong thing? Set selection. It was the get. Shit. Getting this all screwed up, kids. All right, so fine. We will make them both number 2s, and then I'm going to have to come back and come up with a smarter way. Get selection n will be shadowed by function get selection n2. that's all true. And I will learn to stop doing that. Wow. Set selection is set to 2. But get selection into, yeah, it's confusing to me because the getter and the setter. So I do the set first in that one, and then I switch the order on these two. Okay. Set selection. I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna do it this way. F6. All right, we're gonna put 2 on all of them, and we will straighten out the future. Do it anyhow. I know you're trying to save me from getting myself in big trouble, IDE, but I hope I know what I'm doing. All right. Oh, and this is supposed to be return. That. Okay. Now, how are my tests? My tests going to be correct? Let's try this. See if there's any errors. I can't tell what's going on. Okay, it succeeded. Kind of doing things in a rush, folks. All right, so that actually worked. Nice. Position didn't get reset though. So now why didn't that happen? Is it because my code is all mucked up from my chicanery? So an SSN text watcher test, I should see, I'm just going to confirm my interface is named the right way after fiddling with the names there. Mock. Okay, number 2 and number 2. All right, cool. Now if I go to the watcher, oh yeah, I got to put these back in there. All right. This will get my unit test passing again, but it's going to put 2s on the ends of these stupid things, and then I will fix that in the next show, or maybe even before the next show. So the moral of the story is I've done this twice now, where I've had some similar named things, and I'm trying to implement an interface to be a middleman, and when I do that, the Android operating system then tries to call the original object, and the original object, I think what's happening is it's accidentally calling into my interface, which I think should be okay, but it doesn't look okay. and I've pulled this, I've had this happen to me twice now. I'm going to learn my lesson. Oops, I ran the code by accident. I should have ran the test. All right, we'll run the app here. 1. Damn it, I expected that to get the cursor position set right and it didn't do it. So my code to set the cursor position is not working today, folks. I'm not going to get it working because there's something I have to read. Something's up, and I don't know what's up. And it's time to go to barbecue. It's Friday, folks. That's why you don't want to do big releases on Fridays. All right, so my tests are passing, which is nice. But it's not enough because my app isn't still working correctly. I am calling set selection, and I'm setting this, I don't want to set selection, I want to set cursor position. That's not even the right thing, that's why. SSN field, watcher. Okay, yeah, no, I gotta be setting cursor position, not selection. Somehow along the way I got confused. set cursor or set position. Yeah, people are looking for me. Anyways, the problem is, we have an oops here, folks. I'm not supposed to be setting the selection. I'm supposed to set the position or something like that. All right, so let's make a big note here. Okay. All right, folks, I'm Xing out. I already put in what I learned. Maybe I should add in that one more part. What I've learned that whenever I use an interface with the same name as with the name, what is this then? With the same name as the class that's with the same, okay, with methods that are the same name as the implementing class already has, I have problems. Infinite loop. So anyways, we got to stop doing that, or until, be curious to know exactly why, but that is clearly a thing. All right, Xing out, folks. Boom!